stream for you all. And I do want to start off by saying that I was talking as if I was streaming for the last 5 minutes because I thought I was streaming when I wasn't. There is a start stream button on YouTube that I had missed despite me starting OBS, but anyway, let me redo the introductions no one heard or saw. So tonight I'm going to be doing a live stream, just kind of sitting around, talking about whatever, chatting with you guys, and maybe making some sounds. But it's been a couple years since my last live stream, I think. My last one I did on a crappy webcam and mono mic, and so I thought this time I would use my Blackmagic camera that I use for all my videos these days, and my 3DO. So I set all that up, and here we are. And so in advance I do want to apologize if there's any excess background noise or weirdness coming from my mouth or anything else that I would normally edit out in post-production, because I can't do that with a live stream. But hopefully it will be a good time, so hope you enjoy it. Anyway, I'm going to start looking at chat right now. Hello everyone, I see a bunch of people here. Hello, hello, hello. And I see, can you say mac and cheese in a relaxing voice? Yes, I can. Mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. I'm glad you guys are liking my beard. I've noticed a lot of comments on my videos lately. Honestly, I started it out of laziness. As you can imagine, with our current situation, I haven't had that much need to shave. But I guess it's not too bad. I'm not sure how long I'll keep it, but it's not too bad. Anyway, let's see here. I apologize if my mouse is a bit loud. Okay. Thank you guys all again. Did I watch the crazy Fortnite Travis Scott live concert? I did not. I've played Fortnite a few times. I even streamed it a couple years back or so. But it's not really my thing, so I haven't paid that much attention to it lately. I did see that was a thing, and I do think it was pretty cool. I mean, it's interesting to find different ways to have live events, especially in times like these, so I do appreciate that, even if it's not really the kind of thing I'd normally be interested in. Can I say mole, like Darth Maul? Mole, 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 Darth Maul, mole. How old am I? I am currently 29 years old. Did I ever watch Yu-Gi-Oh? I did when I was a lot younger, back when it was first popular in America and the cards were kind of at their peak of popularity. I did watch it. I don't remember a ton about it right now, but I did have some fun with it, and I guess you could say it's time to I had to do that because I guess that kind of counts as a trigger word if I do it like that. You and ASMR nerd collab win. Maybe one day he makes some cool stuff. Haven't really thought about it, but it's always a possibility. Can I do a Darth Maul ASMR roleplay? That would be really cool. I haven't thought about it. It would be a lot of work. I found that with my channel, I get a lot of requests, but I basically only do stuff that I feel really, really inspired and motivated to do. And it's hard to do anything else. So maybe one day if I feel like putting the work in, I hope that doesn't come off as kind of lazy. Well, I am kind of lazy, to be honest, but any more meme ASMRs in the work like steamed hams? Not right now, but I did really enjoy the steamed hams stuff. That was very fun to do. What do you do for work? Unfortunately, I keep my personal stuff like that private. Even if I'm getting into the generals, I'm not too comfortable talking about it. Thank you, Adrian. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with chat. I'm not doing very good with it. Let's see. Can you say Yeet, 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 yeet. Any chance we will get a sleep hypnosis video out of you? I'm not really a fan of hypnosis personally, so probably not, but I'm also not a huge fan of stuff like guided meditations, which I did once, so maybe one day, we'll see. I do not think SCPs are real, but it is fun to imagine, and it's interesting to think about if there are any that were maybe inspired by real-life events, even if they're not exactly what happened. Thank you, Jules. I'm glad you liked it. Do you watch wrestling, or have you ever watched it? I don't really watch it. I've watched it a couple times at friends' houses and so on, but while I find it kind of entertaining in that context, I don't go out of my way to watch it. Can you say Barry B. Benson? Barry B. Benson. Barry B. Benson. Or if I say it like the Joker, in my Joker reads the B movie Wikipedia page video. Barry B. Benson. Yeah, you know, Barry B. Benson, he's the main character. What was that? That accent. That was like my Dr. Hill accent popping through. That's weird. My favorite triggers are probably soft speaking, binaural particularly, and scalp massages. And though I'm not caught up on chat, I do see a $1 donation from Birdie here, so thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. Super generous of you, and again, I want to reiterate that donations are very much not necessary unless you really, really want to, in which case I very much appreciate it, so thank you so much. What are your favorite games currently? Animal Crossing on the Switch. I will probably be doing a video about that sometime soon, and I've been playing a lot of Persona 5. Let's see. I have not played Resident Evil 3 yet, maybe one day when it's cheaper, but it didn't really catch my attention, and the reviews didn't make me want to pay full price for it. Do you have any trips like Japan planned? Thank you, I'm glad you liked the video, but I don't have any trips right now planned, especially given the current circumstances, but maybe in future years. I do not watch the Clone Wars, unfortunately, Art. Let's see, anticipatory triggers, maybe one day. I might do another one. I know a lot of people liked it, but I haven't really gotten around to it. I apologize for my elbow cracking there. If you like those, though, I would highly recommend Heather Feather's Circle Time videos, because I believe she was the origin of that style, and she's really good at it, and has many of them. Have you played the first Half-Life game? I played all the Half-Life games, and I loved them all. The whole timeline is great, especially with Half-Life Alyx adding on to it. How do you practice your impressions? Normally, I find a character that I like the voice of, and if I think I can maybe do the impression, I just kind of read a few select lines in their voice and over until I feel like I have a grasp on their kind of pacing and accent and so on. And then I just try and record the video, and the video usually consists of me repeating lines over and over and over again until they sound right and editing them all together. I don't know what that cracking sound was. Sorry about that. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up a chat here. I don't think outing yourself as a nerd is a bad thing. It's a good thing. Nerds are a good thing. I'm glad I've been able to help you, Shadow. Have you played Hitman? Yes, I played the 2 most recent Hitman games, and that's it. Though in my recent video where I talk about the video games I played this year, I do talk about those games, if you're curious of my thoughts. Big Chungus in a relaxing voice. Okay. Big Chungus. Big Chungus. Big Chungus. A fluffy mic massage video. Yeah, maybe one day. I've actually done 1 or 2 videos with that in it, I think, at least. Will you ever open your AC island for the fans? Probably not, unfortunately. I try to keep it kind of limited because I'm sure if you guys play Animal Crossing, you know it's kind of a pain to let people in and out of your island. It's kind of a time-consuming thing. And I don't, this is going to sound selfish, but I don't want my villagers talking about strangers. I want them just talking about my friends that I know in person or so on. So, have you tried the Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm actually not really a fan of the series. I haven't played much of it, but I just recently ordered Final Fantasy VII Remake because I'm interested in that, and I played the demo and liked it. So I'll be playing through that sometime soon. Let's see. Do you have any pets? I do not. I would like a dog one day, but I currently do not. My current scheduling doesn't allow for me to really properly take care of a dog. And my parents have a dog that I visit when I go over to their house. I actually made a video about it a little while back where I was petting it, if you want to see him. Let's see. Taking a drink of water. And I am reading all your comments, don't worry. I just can't respond to all of them, so if you're thanking me or commenting on my videos, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. 450 random facts. I'm not sure I'm gonna do that many in the future because that was quite a lot. And most of my fact videos, I have to compile the facts myself, so that takes some time, whereas that video was Snapple facts, which were all already listed. Lyric reading, maybe one day. I have some ideas for, like my recent April Fool's soft singing video. I have another very, very ambitious idea that I'm not going to go into details on because I don't want to commit to anything. But I have some ideas. Have I played any Persona 5 Royal? No. I'm playing the original one because I didn't want to pay full price for Royal when I had already gotten the original for about a third of the price. Here's some more book reading. That's kind of a sketchy area in terms of copyright, so probably not. I don't want to get any copyright strikes. What's the parts to my PC? Right now, my CPU is an Intel i7 7700K. I have a 980 Ti graphics card and 16 gigs of RAM. And I think that's the important stuff. I do not watch hockey, unfortunately. I've never played the Payday games. What VR headset do you own? I own the Oculus Rift, the original one from 2016. Thank you, Paul. Carter, maybe, probably not. I've never really been too much of a reader in terms of actual books or comics, really. Maybe one day, but it's not really something I have a ton of stuff to talk about with. Let's see, more character videos, yes. I don't have any particular plans right now, but I do want to make some more. My current maybe is Dr. Samuel Hayden from the Doom games. Though I need to practice his voice a lot more and see if I can figure out the voice effect in post, because it's going to take a lot of work to get that right. So I don't want to commit to it until I get it right, but I have practiced it a tiny bit. See if I can kind of do it without the effect right now. Welcome. I'm Dr. Samuel Hayden. I'm the head of this facility. I think we can work together to resolve this problem in a way that benefits us both. Anyway, let's see. Any more Star Wars themed videos for May the 4th? Not by then, I don't think, but eventually I have some Star Wars themed ideas, so probably at some point. Hello, Pinky. Glad to see you watching from Japan. My Agent Smith video. I'm considering one day doing a live-action Agent Smith video, kind of in the vein of the Hitman video, but more like a recreation of the interrogation scene at the beginning of the first movie, maybe. No promises, but it's an idea I've had. Thank you very, very much, Bull, for the donation. I very, very much appreciate that. Too nice of you. Old School Linkin Park, I really like it. Hybrid Theory and Meteor are very much albums from my early teenage years, late childhood, whatever you want to call them. I really like those. Thank you, everyone. Have you ever played League of Legends? I have not. I'm not really a fan of strategy games, and though League of Legends is more of a MOBA, I don't know how that differs from strategy. To me, it looks like a strategy game, so I haven't really tried it. Maybe one day. Let's see. Can you do 2 more horror stories. I'd like to at some point, for sure. Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? I thought not. It isn't a story a Jedi would tell you. Thank you, fake Hideo Kojima. At least I think you're fake if you're the real Hideo Kojima. Thanks for watching. That G-Man was fire. Thank you. It's a fun voice to do. Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine. Doom Eternal. Probably not gameplay, but like I mentioned a few minutes ago, maybe a Samuel Hayden video. Hello, darkness. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I'm not a singer. Let's see. I haven't seen Ozark, but my brother actually recommended I watch it recently, so maybe one day. I added it to my Netflix list. Thank you, Oscar from Mexico. Lego, Indiana Jones ASMR. Speaking of Lego, I'm getting a Lego set sometime soon. My grandmother wanted to send me one to work on, so I might make a video with it depending on how long I think it'll take. Do I listen to Ghost? Yeah. They're not my favorite band ever or anything, but I listen to them a fair amount, and I like them a lot in general. Particularly their album, what was the name of it? Meliora, I think it was. Thank you, Paul. Did I ever think my Joker impression would get so popular? No, I did not. I mean, I thought people might like it because I was fairly confident in my ability to do it, but I didn't think it would blow up like it did. Definitely not. Thank you very, very much, Waterwalker. That's too generous of you. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you watching, not walking, and commenting all the time. You're definitely very much appreciated around these parts. Yes, I have played Half-Life Alyx Ruler, and I really like it. Probably one of my favorite games of the last few years, and my favorite VR game ever for sure. I talked about it a little more in my recent video game ramble video, if you're interested though. My VR headset's an Oculus Rift from 2016, the original one. Let me actually pull it up right here. Give me a sec. Alright. Here's my Oculus Rift. I don't know if you can see it with this lighting. It's a little dirty. Actually, you can see the little infrared lights that the cameras use to track it flickering on the camera. That's kind of cool. But yeah, this has lasted me a pretty long time, though this head strap actually, the Velcro piece came off recently, so I had to super glue it back on, but otherwise it still works pretty well. Okay, let me put this back. Okay, let's see. Hunter says, my mother stepped out of her wheelchair to turn your videos off. Well, I'm sorry your mother doesn't like my videos, but I am proud of her for getting up. I don't know how to respond to that, but it is. I always find the kind of rude, insulting types of comments to be pretty funny, to be honest. I might make a video about them one day. Kind of like the section I did in my video where I talk about the history of my hair. Will I ever do another Joker ASMR? I do want to, yes. I have some ideas, though I'm not going to commit to any of them right now. I don't think I'm going to do a Joaquin Phoenix one because I don't think I can do his voice very well, and I prefer the sound of the, what's his name? Why am I blanking on this? Heath Ledger, Joker, yeah. Thank you very, very much, Jacob. I really appreciate that. He says, I'm glad I found your channel. I know it can be hard doing YouTube, and your channel is really underappreciated, in my opinion. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Very nice of you. yes, Batty, it is the original consumer Oculus Rift, the first release. Though I also have the first two, or the only two dev kits, because I was pretty into the idea of VR back in those early days. Remastering games, I think, is cool, especially because it often makes it easier to play games on current generation hardware that may have a longer lifespan. What game would you like to see on the new consoles? I want a new F-Zero game. F-Zero GX was one of my favorite racing games ever, and even if it was just like a remake of F-Zero GX, I'd love that. Thank you so much, Shadow G. Shadowergy. You've helped me through some hard times. Thank you for all the effort you put into your videos. 100K inbound soon. Really appreciate that. Too nice of you guys. I've not listened to The Queen is Dead by the Smiths. Let's see. Some keyboard typing while live, I would, but compared to my voice, it's going to be very loud, and I can't edit it to the volume down because of the live stream, because it's directly below my microphone right now, so I apologize. You took that hate comment well, thank you. I kind of, in a way, pride myself on having some thick skin when it comes to these things. I feel like, while there are many rude comments and insulting and mean people on YouTube, at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with yourself, you can't let people tell you how to feel about yourself. And though I'm not necessarily always happy about myself, I'm not going to let someone else tell me how to feel about myself, if that makes sense. Let's see. A new SCP video, probably sometime in the next couple weeks, I'm guessing. No promises yet, but I'd like to do another one soon. Let's see. Well, thank you, Shane. I'm glad the smell-o-vision on my 3DO is working. Let's see. Happy birthday, Jason. I hope you're having a good birthday. And I'm glad you like my videos. Thank you very much. Oh, I would like to see a remake of Metal Gear Solid 1. I actually have never played it. I played 2 and 4, but part of 5, but I never played through 1, partly because it's on the old consoles, really. Let's see, what else we got here? Are you my dad? I don't think so. As far as I know, I don't have any children, so... How good are you, F-Zero GX? I haven't played it in a long time, but back in the day I was decent. I was good enough to get through the entire story mode on normal, but I could not beat the last few levels on the very hard difficulty. But yeah, it's so good. Is the Oculus expensive? It depends. The old one you can find for probably $200-300 now. The current ones are $400, and it used to be a lot more expensive. For my Oculus Rift and the touch controllers, I paid a total of $800 back when they first released, so it's definitely gotten more affordable. Thank you so much, Alexis. I really appreciate that. I've watched you for years, and I really appreciate the amount of effort and creativity you put in your videos. Your videos have helped me through a lot of tough times. Thank you for all that you do. Very, very nice of you. Thank you. Do you have a favorite game console? I think they're great all in different ways. I think if I have a multi-platform game, I'm going to play it on my Xbox One X because that's the 4K console I have, and so I want the best graphics, but I really like the Switch for a lot of the unique stuff it can do. Let's see. Yes, very true. PPIV. Most people who say rude things do so because they're unhappy and they want to make themselves feel better by comparing themselves to others, which I understand it from a human psychology perspective, but still no good. And thank you so much, Hunter, for the $1 Canadian. Very, very nice of you. Thank you, thank you. Do you like horror movies? Yes, I do like horror movies. I saw Us, and I really liked it. I thought it was very good. I'd say like an 8 out of 10. I talked about it in one of my movie ramble videos. I don't remember which one it is, but it was around the time, a month or two after it came out, I think. If you have a loved one who's doing something bad to themselves, you should try to help them. Yeah, I think so. I think it very much depends on the situation, what you should do, but in general, I feel like helping other people out is always a good thing. Let's see. If you could pick a show or movie to remake or revamp, what would it be? That's a good question. feel like shows don't age as poorly as things like video games, so it's hard for me to really choose one. I can't really say I can answer that, unfortunately. I actually never played RuneScape. I might have fooled around with it once or twice, but I never really played it. Was the Oculus and accessories worth $800? Today I wouldn't pay $800 for it, but I was very much into VR back then, and I still like it a lot, and I don't regret buying it. That said, maybe a little overpriced, but that's the price of early adoption for sure. Do you prefer Sonic or Mario? Overall, I like Mario's games more, but when I was younger, I thought Sonic was cooler, and I was really into him. I actually dressed up as him for Halloween one year when I was like 10 years old, so that was fun. More Hypnospace. I'm not sure I'm going to do more of it because I don't really want to spoil the game too much, and I feel like it's a game that is best experienced blind and explored on one's own terms. So showing it in a video maybe kind of robs it of some of the magic, in my opinion. But I'm glad you liked it. My favorite case was probably one of the late game ones I can't really talk about because of spoilers, unfortunately. Is the Nintendo Switch worth it? I think so. I think it's a good price. Not too expensive, not cheap for sure, but for what it does and the quality of games it has, I think it's worth the $300 probably. Can you say my name? Rune X Twist.
Joker voice. You want me to do a Joker voice? Okay, I'll use the Joker voice for a bit longer. Though it's been a little while since I've done it, and it sounds a bit weird through these headphones, so I might not be doing it correctly. Matt, where are you from? I don't like to talk about my personal information, so I'm not going to tell you anything like a city or state, but I'm in the, I'd say, western half of the United States. What's the matter? Ooh, you want to know what the matter is? The matter is, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Thank you so much, Kapukeke, for the wonder. I appreciate that so much. Very nice of you. I'm going to keep talking. Oh, what do you think separates a man and a slave? A man chooses, a slave obeys. The intro Ryan video was fun to do. Is it just me, or is it getting crazier out there? Interesting quote from Joker. Thank you very much, Steamed Hames 666. Let's see if I can catch up on these live. Give me a sec. These comments. Okay. Joaquin Phoenix or Heath Ledger. I think they both did a fantastic job. Personally, I prefer Heath Ledger, but I can't really choose between the two in terms of how good the acting was. Let's see. How are you? I'm doing fine. BGL, thank you. No, it's a little toasty in here right now, so if I look a bit sweaty, that's why. Let's see. Were you ever uncomfortable with ASMR? Did you want to it immediately? I wouldn't say I was ever uncomfortable. I was certainly uncomfortable with making it at first, but I eventually warmed up to it. As far as watching it goes, I was mostly just curious. I didn't totally understand it at first, but I could kind of relate to the sensation, even if the videos are rare to actually trigger it for me. Occasionally I would get it, and eventually I grew to love it. Have you seen Devilman Crybaby? No, I have not, though I've heard it's good. The Freaky Fred voice. I was feeling quite naughty. Okay, Shadow the Hedgehog. I think he can be a good character. He has the potential to be a good character, but for the most part he's pretty edgy. Looking back, it's a little cringe-worthy to think about it. How much I loved him when I was like 11 or 12, but whatever. Minions roleplay. Never. I'm sorry. Thank you, Robert. I normally don't do live streams, but it's been a long time, so I thought I'd do another one. I have not seen A Perfect Circle live. No. I almost saw Tool live
PS5 recently, but it was a little pricey for my liking for the quality of seats. I try to avoid extra big concerts these days because of how crappy the seats are relative to the price you pay, unfortunately. I generally like smaller concerts where you get a more intimate experience. Though I did see 9 Inch Nails in a very large venue a few years ago, and that was one of the best concerts I've ever been to, so. Have you ever played Call of Duty? I've actually never really played any of the Call of Duty games. Venusaur, I think it's because at the end of the day, what draws people to YouTubers is not just the content, but because a lot of people think they're interesting as people, which I understand. I personally don't like talking about my personal life in too much detail because I like my privacy, but certain stuff I'm fine with. Would you kindly accept that BioShock is the greatest game ever created? I don't think it's the greatest, but it's up there. It's one of the best series, I think. What's your favorite game of the Dune series? The 2016 one. H.P. Lovecraft video. Maybe another one day. No promises yet. Another horror movie facts. I try to keep my fact videos like one video per topic, but maybe another day. We'll see. Ever gotten ASMR from your own videos? Yes, on occasion when editing, I do get it. Most recently, my keyboard unboxing and typing video. I really like the sound of this keyboard. Let's see. Have you ever been that Minecraft kid? I never played it as a kid, though I don't think it was really a thing until I was already an adult. I played a fair amount of it for a couple months, like a couple years ago, but beyond that, not too much. Do you like the Arctic Monkeys? I haven't listened to their recent stuff much, but their first 2 albums I liked a lot back in the day. Ring Fit is one of my favorite games on the Switch. I still play it to this day. I actually finished day 100 today. It is maybe not gonna get you swole. You can't really see it here, I'm a very thin, scrawny person, but it doesn't, sorry about that, it does make me feel a lot better in general, and it is a good workout. I definitely get exhausted after a good workout with it, and I would highly recommend it if you have a Switch and you want to get a bit of fitness in. Have you played Dropsy? I do know of Dropsy. I actually streamed it a long time ago, but not the whole game. I just did one stream. I wasn't super into it, but I do appreciate it, even if it's not my type of game. Let's see, Seinfeld ASMR. I've never actually watched Seinfeld, believe it or not, but maybe if I watch it, maybe one day we'll see. ASMR while gaming. I'm probably going to be doing that with an Animal Crossing video sometime soon once I have my house looking a bit nicer. Let's see. Have you ever played Middle-earth: Shadow of War? No, I have not. Mario Party, I've played a few of them over the years, mostly the early ones on the Nintendo 64. And while I like them, of course, there was a thing with Mario Party 1 where they made you spin the control stick, the joystick, like crazy. And I have several practically broken N64 controllers and had blisters on my hands as a result of that, so I did not like that. Favorite creepypasta reading or SCP reading video I did? My favorite horror story video was probably my Lucy and Twins No Sleep story, which was a collaboration with Springbok and Accidentally Graceful ASMR. And that was a good time because I had a lot of fun editing it and making the cool voice effect with the 2 voices in the ears, if you know what I'm talking about. Favorite album of the year so far? I don't know. None of them stand out to me off the top of my head. I'd have to look. Sorry, the chat's coming in faster now, so I'm gonna have to skip some of these. I played Halo 1 and 2, and I think at least part of 3 back in the day. I didn't play a ton of multiplayer. I mostly played the single player, but I did like those games. Did I get tingles using the head scratcher in the Hitman video? I I was so into the acting that I didn't feel anything with that. Though using the head scratcher, I do get tingles usually. Thank you, Calum. I'm glad you like the videos and they're able to help you. What's in my Steam library video? That's a good idea. Maybe one day, though, the bulk of it is actually a bunch of stuff I've never played because I bought a bunch of bundles over the years. So, we'll see. What's your opinion on Sobble? He's not as good as Grookey. But he's okay. Please whisper into my ear. More. Up, not a dog. Here's some more whispering. There you go. I never knew Matt was a man of Overwatch. I was a man of Overwatch, and I have probably like 600 or 700 hours in it. But I'm going to be honest. I have not played it since the Hong Kong controversy with Blizzard and everything, which I'm not going to get into, but I'm personally not too comfortable supporting Blizzard after that stuff, but that's a whole nother debate. Vacation Simulator. I've never played it, though. I know it's about the people who made Job Simulator, so maybe one day. We'll see. How many hours have you put into Animal Crossing? Earlier this week, I think it was, I checked and it said at least 50 hours. So at this point, probably around 60 or so. We'll see. Do you ever plan on making another high production ASMR like the Hitman one? I'd love to. I don't have any specific plans right now, especially because of how much work stuff like that entails. And the fact that I want to be able to shoot on certain locations, and right now that's a bit sketchy at best. But I'd like to one day. Thank you so much, Ralph Whitaker. That's too generous of you. I really, really appreciate that. Very, very nice of you. It's a pleasure to listen to your content. Your voice is so relaxing, and you seem like a really cool guy. Really cool guy. No, hopefully I'm not going to die in this stream. Really cool guy. Thank you so much. Is YouTube getting better or worse for you? On average, over the last couple of years, I'd say it's been pretty stagnant. Like as far as how many subscribers and views I get, it hasn't really changed much over the last couple of years, which is not a bad thing. At least it's not getting worse, and I still have more viewers than I ever expected to have in the early days. But at the same time, it would be nice to have the kind of the graph keep going up instead of just kind of plateau, if you know what I mean. Revenue has gone up in general, but it also has gone down recently due to current circumstances. I'm sure you understand what I mean. Who's living on my island in Animal Crossing? Let's see if I can remember everyone. I have Meringue, Angus, Rodeo, Rosie, Renee, Stinky O'Hare, and I think the last one is my favorite, Knox, the chicken. Let's see. Excellent, I do understand that. Even when I don't feel the ASMR tingles, I find the videos relaxing, so I get that. Let's see. Unfortunately, Enigma, well, I do technically still have the file saved on my computer. 1999 is not going back up. Unfortunately, I apologize. As it turned out, some of you have asked about this in comments over the years, but I had to remove it from YouTube because the original author, apparently the creepypasta that spread around the internet, was a story that he wrote and posted on his blog. He didn't mean for it to be like a creepypasta spread around without permission. Someone copied and pasted it and edited some of the names and stuff like that and added on some sections and spread it around the internet as their own story, and that's what became a creepypasta. And so this guy, he was going around not doing copyright strikes, but politely asking people to take it down because it had spread without his permission. And so I had to oblige that request. And so, well, I'm sorry that it's not available anymore. I do understand the circumstances why I had to remove it, unfortunately, so sorry about that. Let's see. Favorite target in Hitman 2016? Probably the last mission. Forgetting the name of the location. It was in Japan. What was it? I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments, but that's fine. But yeah, that was my favorite. Have you ever played The Evil Within 2? No, I have not. I've not played the original either. Do you like Christmas? Yes, I do. I think it's a good holiday. And thank you, Jeremiah. Favorite game I played in 2020 so far? Overall, I'd say the best is probably Half-Life Alyx. Though Animal Crossing is probably my favorite in terms of something I still play every day and really enjoy, and see myself playing for a long time. Well, I did start out as an ASMR channel from the very first video. I'd always wanted to do a YouTube video or YouTube channel of some sort, but I wasn't sure what to do until I got some ideas for ASMR, and eventually decided to do it after getting inspiration from some stuff like ASMR requests and Heather Feather, namely their Departure 2 video. And my original idea for this channel was to do more kind of cinematic stuff. Like the Hitman video was actually the first video I've made that fits the idea of quality I had before I started my channel, so that's interesting, even though it took almost 6 years. Give me a sec, I gotta get some water here. Sorry about the sniffling. There's a bit of whistle on my nose I'm trying to get rid of. Can you tell me what equipment you use? So right now, and in most of my videos the last few months, I've been using this camera is a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Though this isn't the ideal setup for it, especially because it's a live stream. And a 3DO FreeSpace Pro microphone, which I believe is the same as what's being sold as the 3DO FreeSpace these days. And I normally record it into a Zoom H1 recorder using an aux cable, and that's it. Though right now I have the cable going directly into my computer. As for having the fan noise not be so loud, I just have a very quiet computer. Fortunately, I have I can't remember the brand of case it is, but this case and its fans are very quiet. Let me think. It was... Give me a sec. Because the keyboard's a bit loud, I'm going to put the BRB screen on. Okay, I figured it out. It's the Fractal Design Define R5 is my computer case. Anyway, let me keep looking at the chat here. I'm a bit out of date. Another Half-Life video. Maybe one day, thank you. Do you have to pay for Nintendo Online? Yes, it is $20 a year, unfortunately. I don't like paid online services, but it is what it is. Hokkaido, that was it. Thank you, Chase. I don't really have a favorite YouTuber. I have a lot of different YouTubers I like a lot, though. Preferred game console, Xbox One X in general, though it depends on the game. I've never watched Deadwood, Bill, but that's an interesting to think about. I would maybe like to do a video of kind of like a cowboy Old West character maybe one day. That might be interesting. Best Super Nintendo game I ever played. I never actually had a Super Nintendo. I do have a Super Nintendo Classic, the mini one, though admittedly I haven't played a ton of it, but I think my favorite Super Nintendo game overall is either Super Mario World or Donkey Kong Country. Wii versus Wii U, which one's better? Well, if you're just talking about the game library specific to that one console, I'd say the Wii, but I prefer the Wii U because 1, it's in HD, 2, it plays all the same Wii games, and 3, it has some great games, even if it didn't have that many of them. I do still have my Wii U. Thank you, name pending. I'm glad you like that one. That's a pretty old one. Does anyone know of your ASMR channel outside the YouTube community? A few friends do, and my family does. My parents and my brother. Team Fortress 2 voice acting? Probably not, though I did play a fair bit of it back in the day. My computer case sits on the floor. It's about maybe 3-4 feet from my mic right now, over there on the floor. Boku no Mat. I do like Boku no Hero Academia, or My Hero Academia as it's also known. Just recently finished season 4. Are you more excited for PS5 or Xbox Series X? I think it's too early to say, because they haven't really announced that much about either of them, especially in terms of games. But PS5 will undoubtedly have some good exclusives if it's PlayStation, which it is. My thoughts on Doom Eternal. I'm going to be quick because I talked about it in my video game ramble video recently. I don't want to spend too much time on it here, but I think it was very good, but not as good as Doom 2016. I feel like it tried a little too hard to kind of turn everything up to 11, and that made it feel kind of exhausting and overstuffed in a few ways, unfortunately. But at least the first half of the game, I was really loving it before I kind of got tired of it in a few ways. But I did finish it and like it a lot overall. DK Rap, they're finally here, performing for you. Sorry about the barking dogs. I can't really do much about that in a live stream. But those dogs usually stop pretty quickly, so hopefully it won't be too long. I might make the PS5 1K. I doubt it, but we'll see. I'm guessing both of them are going to be between 500 and 600, or as Sony likes to say, $599 US. Is there a way to recover from ASMR immunity? I'd say just take a break from ASMR for a while, and then come back to it. Hopefully that'll do it. Otherwise, I'm not sure. I haven't really thought that much about it. Will we be making another lightsaber ASMR? Maybe one day. I have some ideas for Star Wars videos that involve a lightsaber. No, I cannot say I can promise anything, and they're kind of more vague ideas than specific plans. Opinion on pancakes. I like pancakes and waffles equally. They're both very good breakfast foods, and I don't have them enough. I wonder if they have Take On Me on Beat Saber. It's not an official song, but I know you can mod songs in the Beat Saber very easily, and so I'm sure it's out there. Are you well versed in the Bionicle lore? I'm not. Though I did like Bionicles as a kid. Alright, any SCPs in the works? Not right now, but sometime soon, I think. Have you ever played Paradox games like Stellaris, HY4, or U4? No, I have not. Destiny, and I played the Destiny 1 demo, and a bit of Destiny 2. They didn't really grab me, but the shooting is pretty satisfying, as you would expect from Bungie. Just not really my thing overall, in terms of games. Cyberpunk, hard to say. I can't really say this at this point. Let's see. I've never played Call of Duty, so I can't answer that question in Dark Wolf, unfortunately. Have you played Apex Legends? I played a few rounds of it, but I'm not a huge fan of Battle Royale games, so I didn't really play much of it. The fire intro. I'm glad you like the fire intro, but at this point I kind of feel like I prefer videos to just start out without an intro. Like, most videos on YouTube that I watch, if there's an intro, I always skip over it, even if I like it, so I don't really want to make people wait through it, if that makes sense. is to find your own answer to life and make the best of it and enjoy it. What is your opinion on ska? I think ska is fine. I don't think it's any better or worse than any music genre, really. It just depends on the band. I think there are some good bands and bad bands in ska. I like Streetlight Manifesto and some of the stuff from the Aquabats, but I don't listen to a ton of ska overall. I know you're a metalhead too. I bet listen to other genres of rock like hardcore, metalcore, yes. I listen to basically a little of everything really, but a lot of different genres of rock and metal really. Basically anything you can think of. Have you watched JoJo yet? I've been meaning to, but I haven't watched past the first 2 or 3 episodes. One day, for sure, I want to. I have never played the Neverhood, but thank you for the recommendation. Maybe one day. Let's see. If poison expires, does it become less poisonous or more poisonous? That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe it depends on the poison. Would you say it's cause or cause of because here's our prayers.
Cause, or some say cosm. Grant us eyes. Grant us eyes.
I had an idea for a very elaborate Bloodborne video, kind of like my other tribute videos like Five Nights at Freddy's and Mad Max, but I never got around to doing it. Maybe one day, but probably not. I did practice some voices for that though, like Gehrman. I'll see if I can remember how to do that. What's a Gehrman line?
I am Gehrman. Welcome to the hunter's dream.
I haven't heard his voice in a while, so that might not be accurate, but how much money do you make from ASMR? I feel like there's some sort of restriction against talking about that, so I'm not going to talk about it, but I make a bit of a chunk. It's not an income I could live on, but it's nice to have. My favorite album of all time. I have a lot of favorites, but some of my favorites are Periphery 2 by Periphery, Songs for the Deaf by Queens of the Stone Age, Demon Days by Gorillaz. I don't know. There's a lot of them. Do you think Jimi Hendrix is the best guitarist ever? I think best is a very subjective term, so I think he's a good guitarist. He's definitely one of the more well-known distinctive ones, but best is really just a matter of opinion. Have you played Final Fantasy VII Remake? Not yet, but I have it coming in the mail soon. I do not listen to Pink Floyd, but I like it. I like their music the few times I've heard it. What's the best emoji? This one. The one that's thinking. I use that one a lot. I played VR Chat, and I would love to have a VR Chat ASMR vid. I have played VR Chat. Sorry about that car out there. Might be idling a second for a bit. I have played VR Chat. I like it. I don't play a ton of it, but it's interesting to hang out with people with weird avatars and talk to them about random crap. And as far as VR Chat ASMR videos go, I don't have plans for one, but I've technically already done one. My Area 51 ASMR video where I act as the alien and do all the weird hand movements and stuff. That was made in VR Chat using the alien avatar. Favorite food of all time is probably pizza. Very generic answer, I know, but yeah. What's heavier, a kilogram of steel or a kilogram of feathers? They're both the same. Do you listen to Blur? I know song 2, but that's it. Let's see. Alright, so Jeffrey, as far as videos where I talk about shows, I actually don't watch that many TV shows, so I don't really have that much to talk about, unfortunately. But I will say right now, if you're not watching Better Call Saul or haven't watched Better Call Saul, Better Call Saul is the best show on TV. At least that hasn't ended yet. And of course, if you haven't watched Breaking Bad first, do that first, as it is a prequel. But Better Call Saul, I think, is very underwatched. ASMR Wario or Waluigi could be a thing. Maybe one day. I do want to do a video like that at some point, but I don't have any firm plans. On my list of ideas, a very long list of ideas, I do have an entry that just says Waluigi haircut. So maybe I'll do something like that one day. Waluigi. Have you heard of Pinfolds? I've heard of him, but I don't listen to him. I am not subscribed to PewDiePie. Not really my thing. I generally don't watch gaming channels for the most part, so. Have you heard of the situation going on right now with Bethesda and Mick Gordon? Yes, I have. I really like Mick Gordon's music, and I want a proper release of the Doom Eternal soundtrack, so hopefully they will get that all worked out soon and let Mick do the mix for everything. I'm not counting on it, but hopefully. What do you get on your pizza? Usually just standard cheese or pepperoni. I like to keep it simple. I have not heard of Hobo Johnson. I am definitely a cool punk. BWL. You like cheese? I also like cheese. Have you not gone insane for streaming so long? Well, when you have a bunch of questions coming at you, you get distracted and forget how long you've been streaming, which it looks like it's been maybe about an hour now. Better Call Saul Season 5 finale was so good. Yes, it was. That whole season was so good. The whole show was so good. It's so good. But, yeah. UFC, I do not watch UFC. Generally not a fan of fighting or wrestling stuff. Alright, have you watched Westworld? I've seen 1.5 seasons of it. I saw and liked the first season a lot. I've seen about half the second season, and though I didn't dislike it, I wasn't really motivated to finish it. It didn't really grab me too much, but maybe one day. Favorite Star Wars movie? People might hate me for this, but The Last Jedi or A New Hope, depending on my mood. I think The Last Jedi just has such great cinematography. It's interesting and deep in ways that a lot of the other movies aren't. It takes risks that while many people do not like the risks, I appreciate them a lot. I thought it made it more exciting. And though I understand the storytelling is maybe a bit flimsy in a few ways, I'm going to put that stuff aside because at the end of the day, Star Wars really is just kind of popcorn stuff, if that makes sense. Not to say it can't be smart, but I'm not going to nitpick it on the level of something that's trying to be a super serious drama, if that makes sense. I have not played Tekken really outside of maybe a couple times in an arcade a long time ago. So any care tips for it? To be honest, well, thank you. I haven't done anything with this beard. I just let it grow out and shaved the neck. Well, not even shaved, just kind of clipped the neck with my clippers, and that's it. Thank you. Can you do more sound assortment videos? Yes, one day I want to do some more, for sure. Do you like Death Grips? Yes, I do. I do like Death Grips. My favorite album is Bottomless Pit. It goes, 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 good. Yo. Yeah, I just did that. I'm sorry. Not sorry. Are you a minimalist? Not really. I can appreciate some minimalist stuff, but I have a fair amount of stuff. I'm not exactly Marie Kondo. I like collecting stuff to a degree. Favorite SpongeBob episode? That's a good one. There are a lot of great ones, basically from the first seasons before the first movie came out, but I would say, off the top of my head, if I had to choose one, probably just One Bite, the one where Squidward tries a Krabby Patty for the first time. Favorite cartoon when you were a kid? Speaking of which, my favorites were probably SpongeBob, Dexter's Lab, Courage the Cowardly Dog, Rugrats, Rocket Power. What else? Yeah, I think those were it. Do you know how to play any instruments? I know how to play guitar and drums, not super well, but I can play both of that. Well, I say I can play drums moderately well. Guitar slightly well, depending on the mood, but I haven't played it seriously in a few years, so I've probably forgotten most of it. Favorite genre of video games. I like a lot of different genres, but I like most stuff, with the exception of I don't really play many sports games. Not that many strategy games in general, especially real-time strategy. I find them kind of overwhelming. I don't like things where I have to think about a lot of stuff at once in real time. I like more straightforward, kind of linear action games. Action games in general, like hack and slash, Dark Souls, shooters, etc. I generally like most. I've not played Resident Evil Resistance. Let's see, how are you doing today? I'm doing fine, thank you. Site 13, I don't know. Do you play Raid Shadow Legends? Nope. No, I know of all their sponsorships. Have you played this DLC for Spider-Man PS4? Nope, I have not. I did like Spider-Man, but haven't had an urge to go back to it, so I won't be playing the DLC. Do you have a go-to game that you'll play if nothing else is good at the time? That used to be Overwatch before I stopped playing it, but right now I'd probably say it's Animal Crossing New Horizons. Ex-military lyrics reading? Probably not. Do you collect vinyl records? No, I do not. I like the idea of vinyl records, but I can't be bothered to pay the price for all of them, especially when I'm paying for streaming services for music already. I'm probably not going to do a Death Grips ASMR video, to be honest, because while I like them, I feel like their content is so not generally family friendly, if you know what I mean. So I probably couldn't get away with it without stuff like demonetization or so on, and I personally try not to use swear words much, if at all, so just personal preference. I've kind of been that way since I was a kid. I'm kind of weird in that I almost never actually swear, even in private, so I'm kind of weird like that. Have you ever gotten into voice acting or thought about it? I'd like to, maybe one day. I haven't made a serious effort for it, but I do enjoy it for my stuff like my character videos. Thank you very much, Lemsow9, and everyone else who's commenting and complimenting me. I've got characters playing Smash Brothers. I haven't played that much lately, but I like Captain Falcon, King K. Rool. I've had some fun with Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, those are probably my favorites right now. Never heard of Barotrauma. I am currently single, Ben Padilla. I'm going to sleep. Good night. Good night, Yun. Thanks for coming. Can you do the pain voice? You think Darkness? Oh, it's been a while since I've done that. Let's see if I can remember how I did it. You think darkness is your ally. You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light till I was already a man, and by then it was nothing to me but blinding. Victor has defeated you. Perhaps he's wondering why someone would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane. How about I read some more questions like Baden here? Do you like Rage Against the Machine? Yes. Of course. I love Rage Against the Machine. I think they're fantastic. Thank you, Jay. I'm glad you think so. What's your favorite memes from all the years? Well, I really like steamed hams, as you can imagine, but there are many very good memes. It's hard to pick one, or even several. Have you played Terraria? Yes, I have over 100 hours in my Steam counter. I played quite a bit of it a few years ago. Actually, with some ASMR people, really. But that's that. What's your favorite gaming console and why? Well, it's the Xbox One X, I'd say, because it's the one I have that does 4K. So for multi-platform stuff, I'll choose that, but I really like the exclusives on PS4 and Switch as well. Let me do some sniffling off stream for a sec, because holding my nose like that made my nose a bit whistly. Good night, Dana. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much. Best Pokemon. Pikachu, of course. There are a lot of great Pokemon, but I always come back to Pikachu. Probably a very generic answer, but it is what it is. Is this a good trigger? Scratching my beard. Kylo Ren voice. Oh, it's been a while since I've done that. And I was never super confident in my ability to do it. I think much of it was the effects I added later that made it sound good, but I can maybe try. What's a Kylo Ren line? Kylo. He used the sniffling to destroy the sniffling. I used the sniffling to destroy the sniffling. Alright, let's see. Kylo. Why am I blanking on his lines? Alright. The droid stole a freighter. What's the line? Let me look it up. Give me a sec. Alright, this might be a bit loud. I'm gonna click and type very gently. If it gets too loud, I'm gonna mute it just to be safe. Just in case people are watching this later on the replay. Alright, it's a bit bright because of the white screen here, but let's see if I can do the Kylo voice without an effect. It's not going to have the effect whatsoever, so it's like I don't have the mask on, but let's see if I can remember how it goes. Forgive me. I feel it again. The call from the light. Supreme Leader senses it. Show me again the power of the darkness, and I'll let nothing stand in our way. Show me, Grandfather, and I will finish what you started. Not great, but I tried. Anyway, let's see. I will fulfill our destiny. What's interesting is the weird faces I make when I do some characters. Okay, back to this here. Have you heard of Neon Genesis Evangelion? Yes, I've watched maybe half of it so far. I'm watching it slowly when I feel like it, and I like it a lot. Never got around to it when I was younger. Look how old you've become. That's another one, yeah. Thank you, Vitor. I did not go to film school, but I took some film classes in college. What position would I have worked on set, if any? If I had to choose, probably cinematographer. I really like cinematography. What's your favorite Heather Feather video? She has a lot of really good ones. I'd say personally my favorite is her Ultimate Scalp Massage one. Though I think one of her coolest ones, if not her coolest one, is You're a Star, the one she recently came back with a few months ago. And if anyone here has not seen You're a Star by Heather Feather, I think you should absolutely watch it. Which bear is the best? I know there's an answer to this based on The Office, but I forgot the quote. So, sorry about that. Black bear, yeah. Do you watch Road Rage Vid? No, I'm not sure I know what you mean, so no. Lord of the Rings video. I'm actually not a huge fan of Lord of the Rings in general, but I did do a Smog video a long time ago, like 2014. So there's that, but I don't have any plans for another one, unfortunately. Voice actor reveal for Kylo Ren, not clickbait. Thank you, Boba Fett. Though the deepness, I think part of it was the effects I added in post-production made it sound deeper than it was. But maybe. I don't know exactly how I did it. It's been 5 years. Saturday Night Live ASMR. That's a good idea. But I also don't want it to seem like literally Saturday Night Live, the show. Oh, someone disliked this. I wonder who it was. I don't care about dislikes. Though, if I got a ton of them, I guess it can be a way of letting me know that maybe people didn't like what I did, so. When you watch a movie, do you put it on the popcorn? Usually not beyond whatever comes on it. Like, if I'm in a movie theater, I don't use the butter pump to put a bunch of extra butter on it, but on occasion I do. Which Fallout game is your favorite? I played Fallout 3 and 4, and both of them I played for like 10 hours and then suddenly got kind of bored of. I'd say they were about the same for me, personally. Not bad games, just not really my thing after a while. What is your favorite comedy? My favorite comedy movie is probably Borat, who I, a long time ago, used to do a very good impression of, like around the same time I was doing the Joker impressions for my friends. I have thought many a time about doing a Borat video, and it's not entirely off the table, but as you can imagine, doing a Borat video in a way that's not very controversial is a bit of a stretch, so we'll see. Maybe one day. And I'm not sure I can do his voice quietly. I've never tried it quietly, so let's see if this sounds right at all. I normally do it very loud, so if this sounds terrible, I apologize, but how about... My wife... What's a line that I can do that's not going to get me demonetized? While I think about that, my Steam account is private, sorry. I can do some G-Man lines, but let me think. Oh, and to answer this question, the Hitman roleplay, I filmed everything myself except for the few shots where I'm walking and the camera is moving at the same time. If the camera's moving, actually no, if I'm in it and the camera's moving, I think it was like 2 or 3 shots. That was something where I set up the shot, showed my friend what I wanted him to do, and he followed me doing the same movement. But everything else I set up myself. And thank you very much. Borat. I'm gonna look it up. Give me a sec. so it is surprisingly difficult to find a Borat quote that I feel comfortable saying on here right now. So I'm just going to do a very plain one. If I can remember how to do this voice, let's see. My country sent me to the United States to make movie film. Please, come and see my film. If it's not success, I will be executed. Nice. It's been so long since I've done it. I don't think I can do it too well right now, but with practice, I think I can do it. The question is, should I? That's nice. Speaking of nice, thank you very much. Everything works? That is too nice of you. Very, very, very generous. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I want to hear you try Sir Wilhelm from Dark Souls 3. I don't remember that character. I don't remember what he sounds like. Let me look it up real quick and see if I can do it. Give me a sec. I'm gonna type, so I'm gonna go BRB again. Okay, I'm gonna try this real quick. I don't think I can do it too well. I don't remember his voice whatsoever, but I'm gonna try it, especially because you were so nice to give me that very generous donation. I already forgot the line. I'm just gonna do the first part of the line. I've seen your kind. I've seen your kind. I've seen your kind. It's hard to do. Maybe if I do the muffled voice. I've seen your kind. I've seen your kind. This is me, Sir Wilhelm. That's my attempt. Let's see. Nice. I see people asking me for top 5 music artists or bands or metal bands or whatever. It's so hard to narrow these down, so I can't really say I have a good answer. I have so many favorites, depending on my mood. I do want to do another Joker video at some point, not sure when or what though. I have not tried the chicken sandwich from Popeyes yet. Maybe one day. I do like fried chicken sandwiches. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to go, but I do need some more water, so I'm going to be right back. Let me get some water. catch up on chat here, blah, 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 blah. But before I do, thank you so much. Everything works. That's too generous of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate that. I realized I had to clear my throat, but I didn't want to do that in your ears, so. Alright, let's see. I do like some grunge. I wouldn't say I have a go-to band or artist. I know one Travis Scott song, Pray for Love. That's Travis Scott, right? Yeah, I think it is. I admittedly learned about it from the Uncut Gems trailer. Great movie. And I like that song. Do you like Born of Osiris or Whitechapel? I do like Born of Osiris, though I don't listen to a lot of them. Never really listened to Whitechapel. Who's your favorite villain of all time? That's a hard one. I think Joker's up there. Yeah, there are a lot of good ones. Depends on my mood, I guess. If thou art a true disciple of the dark sun, cast aside thine ire, hear the voice of myself, Gwendolyn, and kneel before me. I honestly don't remember a ton of different voices from the Dark Souls games, aside from Solaire. Venom. At one point I almost did a Venom video, but I couldn't get the voice sounding exactly how I wanted, and I couldn't really think of a good script for it. Can I do a voice? Can I do a voice line here? We are Venom. No, that doesn't sound right. We are Venom. No, it's been a long time since I've done it. It doesn't sound right at all. Rolling down the street like a turd in the wind. That's another line. Let's see. Oh, I'm way behind. Okay. Admittedly, I got water and I also used the restroom. I didn't realize I had to use the restroom until I got up. Favorite weapon in Breath of the Wild is probably the Master Sword because it doesn't really break. No worries, everything works. Thank you so much. Never really listened to Frank Ocean, Jeremiah. Do you listen to Eminem or Tech Nine? A little bit of Eminem from time to time, mostly his older stuff. It's pretty good. The Goat Whisperer. I remember that video. One of my earliest successful videos. It was a fun video to make. And before I got this mic, most of my videos have been with this mic, but in the very early days I used a Zoom H1 mic. I played lots of indie games. It's hard to say what my favorite is, but right now, my favorite recent one is probably Hypnospace Outlaw, for sure. I thought about that Duke's ASMR copying the script, but even the script doesn't really have a ton of Venom talk, and it's mostly kind of disjointed blurbs here and there, so it wouldn't really make that much sense in the context of an ASMR video, I don't think. Wheatley from Portal 2. I haven't heard his voice in a while, so I don't remember how he sounds, but I do think I almost did one a long time ago, back when I was doing stuff like the Cave Johnson video. The Arnold impression. I don't think I'm very good at his voice, but let me see if I can try it. Get to the chopper! Get to the chopper! Do it now! I can't do it quietly. I can do his voice loud, I think, but... Who is your daddy, and what does he do? Put that cookie down now! Able to do solid Snake's voice. I actually don't remember what his voice sounds like, but that's... in my memory, it sounds kind of like that. I actually have done a Thanos video. Duke's ASMR, like a year or two ago. I don't remember exactly when it was. Hello, Hunter. I'm doing good. Thank you. Hope you're doing well. Why ASMR? Well, when I started my channel, ASMR was relatively unknown. It was nowhere near as popular as it is today. and I stumbled across it from an article on The Verge where I didn't totally understand it, but I thought it was interesting as a new genre of video where it's just like something that hasn't been done before. And though in a way it is kind of weird in some ways, I've always been kind of interested in the weird stuff, and I thought it would be interesting to try and make new and interesting things that hadn't been done before out of it. And though my stuff is not always exactly the most original, I do have a lot of fun in trying to be creative with it, and now that I've gotten, in my opinion, I think I'm pretty decent at it, not to brag, I think having gotten good at it is very satisfying to do, if that makes sense. How do you want better? Who is ASMR? Why is ASMR? I don't really tell people unless I know them well. Usually I only have told a few friends because it's less about it being embarrassing and more about it being difficult to explain to people who don't know what it is. I just don't feel like having to explain it and risking the misconceptions of things like people thinking it's a sexual thing or whatever. So, revisiting old videos such as the G-Man, I've been thinking about it. Maybe one day, because there's more G-Man lines from Half-Life Alyx I could do. What was his line? I don't know. Wolfenstein or Doom? I prefer Doom. Do you like Hobson or Joyner Lucas? I'm not familiar with either of them. Sorry about the background noise there. I have not watched Star Wars: The Clone Wars, though I feel like I get asked that question pretty frequently, which is interesting. Did I ever play Kingdom Hearts Remind? No, I enjoyed Kingdom Hearts 3 a lot, but I haven't had an urge to play the DLC. Office roleplay? Probably not. I don't feel like I could act as any of the characters very well. FF7 Remake I have coming in the mail sometime soon, so I'll be starting that at some point soon, though maybe after I finish Persona 5, depending on how long that keeps me interested. I'm about 20 hours into Persona 5, so it's going to be a while maybe. Thank you, Cedric. Dukes, to respond to your point about people thinking of sexual and using clickbait thumbnails and stuff like that, I'm of the opinion that it's like with any genre of anything really. No matter how innocent the original intent is, you're always going to have people making their own more sensual or sexual content with it. And I think that's fine. There's a market for that. There's an audience for that. And if they want to do it, I don't think they should be stopped from doing it. Does it necessarily affect the general perception of it if people already understand what it is? And I can see that being a thing. I mean, I'm sure, I know it has affected the perception from what I've seen, but it's one of those things where you can either let it affect the perception, or you can just prohibit people from being creative and doing what they want, and I think freedom is always preferable. So while I don't like having to combat misconceptions, it hasn't really been a huge issue, so it is what it is. Not really my thing, but I'm not gonna get on anyone's case for it, really, if that makes sense. Have I been recognized in real life yet? No one has walked up to me and said, "Hey, I know you," but I have gotten some messages and comments that have indicated that they saw me in person somewhere, which is a bit... I don't like the idea that people have seen me. Like, I don't want people walking up to me, to be honest, because I'm generally a pretty shy person and would feel very uncomfortable probably if someone walked up to me. But at the same time, it's also a little weird knowing that people have seen me and I didn't know that they were there watching me and what I was saying during that. So, whatever. It is what it is. I do like Slipknot, though. I've not listened to Suicide Silence. cream screen. I did a Five Nights at Freddy's ASMR video a few years back in 2015. I think if you haven't seen it, you will like it a lot. It was one of my proudest videos in terms of sound editing. It was a ton of work. It's very, very complex and layered. Do you use any audio editing software? Yes. I used to edit everything in Adobe Premiere, though these days, since I got this camera, I have been using DaVinci Resolve because it came with it for free and I don't want to pay Adobe's subscription fees. Did I ever finish The Witness? Yes. I finished The Witness and I loved it. I actually finished it before I made that video, I think. Thank you, Kavanasu. Well, I'm generally more comfortable not being on camera. I do understand that people like seeing a face. Personally, I like to just put audio only on and just go to sleep with ASMR, but I understand it, so I get it. Let's see. I'm not sure what KYATS means, but if that's a compliment, then thank you. Let's see. Murdoch from Gorillaz would be an interesting voice. I don't remember exactly how it sounds, but interesting idea. Another project like the Hitman video, probably one day, maybe not another Hitman video, but I want to do something of that production quality for sure. That's one of the reasons I got this camera. It can be very good at making cinematic looking footage if you use it right. Thank you very much, Elijah and Jeremy. Appreciate that. Normally I don't talk with my voice like this for this long, so my throat is getting a little sore from it. I'm not going to go too much longer, I don't think, but we'll see. Looks like I have a little over 200 viewers right now. That's cool. Favorite movie is impossible to choose. Same with favorite games. I feel like favorite anything is hard to choose because there's so many good things and so many different genres and so on. How many microphones do you have? Well, I have this microphone, a 3DO. I have a Zoom H1 that I actually don't think it properly records audio anymore, but I use it as a recorder for this. Like the mic on it, the mic itself on it's broken, but it still works as a recorder. I also have a CAD E100S mic here. It's a mono mic that I use for stuff like my Twitch streams and some of my videos where I'm not doing mono. And I have in the closet, I got for free, someone was giving it away, a blue snowball microphone, but I've never used it for a video. My favorite, gotta clear my throat, sorry. My favorite or best video I've ever made. I have a lot of favorites. Hitman video for sure is one of my favorites. Mad Max tribute was one of my favorites. That was a huge project. Same with the Haunted Mansion Disneyland tribute. And yeah, those are probably my favorites off the top of my head. Let's see. I don't have a favorite comedian to watch. I don't really watch comedy that much, like stand-up. Let's see. Hello, Daniel. I am responding. Not to everyone because I don't have the time for it, but thanks for coming. Thank you for all the compliments, everyone. Can I say, do it in Palpatine's voice? Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Yes, I do make these faces when I do certain character voices. Do it. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Let's see. Jeremy, I'm not sure if or when I'll be doing creepypasta specifically. I'm going to be doing more SCP for sure. The problem with creepypasta videos is that they're often very much in a gray area as far as copyright goes, where either the original author is difficult or impossible to contact, or it's hard to get permission. I want to make sure that I'm not risking a copyright strike these days, because there have been some. I've never had an actual copyright strike, but I've had some requests to take down videos as a result of stuff where I found a creepypasta and there was no author listed. It was just shared all over the internet, and eventually it turned out that the author did want credit or wanted permission, so I didn't want to risk it, but whatever. Let's see. Favorite Disturbed songs? Probably the classic Down with the Sickness, Stupefy, Prayer, Believe, 10,000 Fists, Stricken, Sons of Plunder, off the top of my head. I am 29 years old. I have played the guitar and drums, though I'm better at the drums than I am at guitar. I've not played the latest Mario Maker 2 update, no. Though, it does look good. I have to clear out my snip. My nose, this is one thing I do edit out of my videos sometimes if you see a transition. Occasionally my nose will get whistly, and so I have to sniffle pretty hard to get it out. I had them in the past and I was told they would come back. I have nasal polyps, so like little growths inside my nasal passages that kind of make my nose whistle sometimes, so here I go. Okay. Too many questions coming in. Ralph, I've actually written a few stories for videos before. I think I've had two or three nonsensical stories videos, and one horror story video I wrote a while back called Fools, and I'm pretty proud of those. Though, most of them are pretty silly. I can't say my favorite ASMR artist, partly because I can never really decide, and probably because I don't want to play favorites and make anyone feel bad if anyone's watching. Golem voice. I considered doing a Golem video a long time ago. I'm not sure if I can do it in a relaxing way. Delicious.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's a bit of a dirty voice. Yes.
I don't know what that sound was, but sorry about that. Will you ever do a collab? I've actually done many collabs, though not as many in recent years, and I'd like to do some more eventually, but if you want to see my collaborations, I have a playlist on my channel's homepage all about them. When do you think I'll do another live stream? Not sure. When I feel like it, really. Could be sometime soon, might be a long time, but I do like doing it from time to time. Hard on Guitar Hero, I'd say almost counts. Almost counts. Which Koopaling is your favorite? Probably Iggy. You have deviated septum and have to edit. Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. It is tricky to deal with, unfortunately. So best of luck with that. Zodiac sign is Virgo. Everything works. I think if you can think of it, there's probably a market for it. And maybe not the most popular genre, but my theory, my philosophy is that you should always put doing what you want first over trying to do what you think people want. And then the audience that truly appreciates you for what you like to do will show up and appreciate you. Let's see. I play Stardew Valley. I played a couple hours of it. I thought it was decent, but it didn't really grab me. Carter, right, you just joined an ASMR live stream where I am talking quietly into this pair of rubber ears so that if you're wearing headphones, it sounds like I'm whispering and softly speaking into your ears because many people find that relaxing and enjoyable. Thank you, Green Cream Screen. I've actually done a G-Man video before, if you haven't seen it already. A few years ago.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine. Not that I wish to imply you've been sleeping on the job. No one is more deserving of a rest, and all the effort in the world would have gone to waste until... well, let's just say your time has come again. The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. So wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
It's a very, very fun voice to do. Does anyone recognize that tune I was humming? I'm really curious. Anyone? Not humming, but I don't know what that was. That wasn't a whistle, but you know what I mean. That's okay, Major Tom. Not everyone has to like it. That's a philosophy I think you should follow. Not you specifically. I'm not talking down to you. Don't worry. I'm talking to everyone. I think everyone should follow the philosophy that you should always do what makes you happy, even if it doesn't make some people happy. Of course, as long as it's not something that's actually hurting other people. Like, if you put out nice content and some people, it's just not their thing, who cares? That's fine. So that's how I feel about it. Oh. Okay, I understand, Carter. Someone asked me to do a Gollum voice, so that's why I did it. Do you do ASMR as a hobby or as a job? I do it as a hobby, but I do like doing it a lot, and admittedly, if I was to be making enough money doing it, I would probably do it as a career, but I can't do it right now as a job, even if it's making me a little extra money. Let's see. Favorite horror movie? That's a good one. Depends on my mood, and there are a lot, but off the top of my head, two of my favorites are The Shining and Hereditary. Thank you, Chilled Out Channel, and everyone else saying nice things. When you end this at 1 o'clock, that might be a good time to do it, depending on how I'm feeling. We'll see. Thank you, Whimsical. That might be fun. I don't think anyone's ever asked me to do it, but if someone was to ask me for a fan project G-Man voice, I might consider it. I'm doing well, thank you, Sleepbound. Do you play Red Dead Redemption 2? I played the first few hours of it, and I got distracted by other stuff, but I did like it a lot. I do intend on going back to it and playing the rest of it at some point, though. Hello, Gordon. Gordon? I could do a Gordon Freeman impression. Here I go. That was my Gordon Freeman impression. Carter, it's a little bit of both. It seems like there's a fair amount of delay, but I'm also kind of focusing on older stuff as I'm trying to catch up sometimes. I don't really pay much attention to the Shining theories, but I know there's a lot of interesting ones out there. Are you going to do any more gameplay videos? Yes, I do intend to at some point. Starting with another not another, but an Animal Crossing video showing off my island. But I'm not going to do that until I have things looking a little nicer. I'm working on some stuff. I'm trying to get the fully upgraded house and so on. Let's see. Would you do a Harry Potter related video? Probably not, unfortunately. I did enjoy some of the books and the movies, but I'm not a huge fan of it, so never really thought about it. That corner voice is like Shells. Yeah, I can do her too. Here's my Shell impression. Thank you so much, Moose A054. I really appreciate that. Too nice of you. And thank you. That is a fantastic corner impression, if I do say so myself. Maybe my best impression. It's the best one of all time. Nom nom moo, you're right. You missed the Gordon Freeman. I'm sorry, Legend of Butters, but I think you can imagine what it sounded like. I have not done a Professor X video, and I don't intend to, unfortunately. I do have one brother, Madeline, a younger brother. He's about 1.5 years younger. Have you ever played The Witcher? I played a little bit of The Witcher 3. It didn't grab me, but I might try it again at some point. I do appreciate that it is a well-made game, though. So we got 8 minutes until 1 o'clock. Right. Probably do it that much longer. Is there anything else I should do? This song is stuck in my head. I won't give you guys an impression or a hint at what this song is. It's from a game that I mentioned at the end of my recent video game ramble video. And I was playing it today, and now there's a song stuck in my head. And part of it goes. Do you know what game that's from? I can do another song from it. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's see. Thank you, Lauren. I'm glad you liked the videos. Thank you, Piano Slayer. I'm glad you liked it. Maybe I'll do some more eventually. If anyone wants to see another drawing I did recently, I posted it on my Instagram and Twitter. I drew a kind of realistic-ish looking Tom Nook from Animal Crossing, so that was fun. Is there any impression you thought of doing but gave up on? Yes, several. Off the top of my head, I can't really remember what they were, but I think Venom would count as one of them. Can't think of the others right now. Are you gonna grow back your hair? Probably not, because my hairline is like that right now, so I think I just look better bald or buzzed. I should say the name of the song and keep singing it before I leave the chat. Maybe. Carter Knows, Persona 5, and What a Hoss, Persona 5. The second one I did was Used Everywhere, really, but the first one, Do You Know Where It's Played? Though it might be used in more than one place. That makes a mech board. I've seen some interesting mechanical keyboard building videos. I've never built my own. I've only bought them pre-built, but maybe if I get into building them, maybe one day, we'll see. That's right, Brandon. And Ryan is actually, technically, yes, Persona 5 Royal, but I'm playing the original because I got it a while back for $20, and I can't be bothered to buy the same game twice for full price, but I mean, I know it's not the same game, but the changes were not enough to warrant me wanting to spend $60. favorite holiday is probably Halloween. I like all the stuff around the Halloween season. Like the haunted houses and all that. It's fun. Are you going to keep the beard? Probably. Well, we'll see. I'm not sure if it'll be long term, but right now I'm okay with it. How far are you in Persona 5? About 5 hours. I just finished the second takedown, if you will. I finished the second palace yesterday, and then today finished the rest of that storyline. So I'm about 20 hours in. What have you done during the lockdown to stop being bored? Mostly video games, mostly Animal Crossing and Persona 5 at this point, and making more ASMR videos. Do you prefer female or male ASMR videos? Generally female, but they're both good. Most of my favorites are female though. Thank you very much, everything works. I might do it more often. I'm glad you're liking it. Are you bilingual? No. I know a little bit of Japanese and Spanish from classes I took in school. Annihilate roleplay from Half-Life 1. That would be interesting, but probably not, unfortunately. How many places have you traveled to? I've traveled to, I've traveled to many different states in the U.S. I've done a cross-country road trip. I've also traveled to Hawaii, Mexico, Canada, and Japan. Have you played Celeste? Yes, and it does have a great soundtrack. Great game. Unfortunately, Super KBT, I cannot promise anything. So, while I appreciate the offer, you can save it for if and when maybe that happens, if you're still interested by then. Will you ever do John Wick ASMR? Probably not. I saw the first John Wick, and contrary to most people's opinions, I only thought it was okay. But maybe I'll watch the others someday, and if I like those, maybe. I'm not comfortable talking about what I do for a living, unfortunately, as I guess that kind of goes into the territory of personal matters, so unfortunately I won't talk about that. Thank you very much, Lauren. How much Spanish, though? Not much. I've forgotten most of my Spanish and Japanese classes, but I have enough to kind of get a gist of a conversation in some context, so that's nice. Who's your favorite Persona 5 character so far? Oh, that's a good one. And I like Morgana. He's funny. They're all interesting in their own ways, really. It's hard to say. SpongeBob roleplay. Funny you say that. I have considered it. I've considered a video where I play both SpongeBob and Patrick talking to each other and the viewer. The problem is, while I can do good impressions of both, my impressions of both are very loud. I don't really practice it much quietly, so let's see if I can do it at all quietly.
Hey Patrick, hey Patrick, hey Patrick. Wanna go to the Krusty Krab?
I can't do it very well quietly yet. I need to practice that. Yeah, SpongeBob, is mayonnaise an instrument? I don't know if I can do it quietly. I'd have to work on that. Thank you, Chase. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Well, it's looking like it's about to hit that 2-hour mark. It's about 1 or 10, depending on what time zone you are in America or somewhere in between. So before I finish up, like I promised, I will be telling you the name. Well, I don't know the name of the song, but the two songs I was doing. The first one was from Persona 5, and I know it as the song that plays in the clinic where you buy medicines from the doctor and do the clinical trials. Because I did one of the clinical trials today, and right before, well, a few hours before this, and now it's stuck in my head. And the other one is Beneath the Mask, the song that plays at many places in Persona 5. Alright, well, can you do a Squidward laugh? I don't think I've ever tried that, quiet or not. Let me see if can I do it at all? I can't. I could probably do it better if I wasn't trying to be quiet.
Squidward.
Okay, that's enough of that. But thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. It's been a great time just hanging out and shit. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you again to all the people who donated. Again, a donation is never necessary, but it is incredibly appreciated, and I really, really do appreciate it. So thank you for watching.